All right, it's 2026. If you do not have a plan yet, if your plan is blank, blank this piece of paper, I'm going to help you come along and I'm going to show you a couple tips on how we do this, how I've done this for years. All right, let's go. Okay, so one of the things I teach inside of our mastermind and our academy is planning starts with a notepad. And I know, I love tech. I've got multiple phones and devices, but there's just something about a pen and piece of paper. And so if you're planning out your 12-month plan, I always like to start by writing out the months on a piece of paper. Okay, so you're going to take a notepad and you're just going to start writing January, February, okay, et cetera, et cetera. All right, and let me show you what we're going to do next. Okay, the next step is okay, now that you have your list, what you're going to do is I want you to brainstorm with themes that you could focus on for each month. Okay, now let me take a step back. One of the things I always like to remind people is any media organization, like the Today Show, the New York Times, Forbes, Fortune, they all have an editorial calendar. And if you don't believe me, just Google it, you'll see. And generally speaking, with an editorial calendar, and I learned this from back in my day when I worked for Inman News, I worked for Inman for years, is every month they have a theme. And then based on that theme, the reporters will create a lot of content for that. I have found that, especially as a busy realtor and for myself, running a social media company, it's way easier to batch create a bunch of content that is related to one theme than to just kind of be all over the map. So this is something we've done for years and I just highly recommend it. So what you want to do is think about some themes of content that you could create easily, right? We want to think about like who do we love to work with, who are our people, right, so to speak, and then we want to create some content around that. Okay, so let's walk through how to do that. Okay, so we've got our list right here. So we want to think about different types of people we love working with. Okay, so let's say you love working with first time home buyers. Okay, now you may not like working with first time home buyers, but if these are your people, you're going to put that down as category. And just to keep this easy, we're going to put this for January. Now, you can also repeat this. So let's say you want January to be that theme, but maybe you also want to do it again in June. Okay, so we're going to repeat this first time home buyers. Okay. Now, you might also love working with veterans. All right. So we're going to put that down for February. And then maybe we want to repeat that again. Okay. So we'll put this in July. Now, maybe you also like working with seniors. Perhaps you have your seniors designation and you love working with empty nesters, people who are downsizing, and these are some of the people you love to work with. Okay, so that could be March. So let's repeat that for March. So let's put seniors, empty nest. Okay. Okay, let's say you also love working with sellers. You really, really want to focus on getting sellers. So you can have sellers. You can be even more specific. You could be sellers who are selling their home in whatever city or market you specialize in. The more specific, the better. You could actually have a different theme for all 12 months out of the year. Some people do that. That's fine. Or you can do what we're doing here and do like 4 and then repeat, or 6 and then repeat. So let's put sellers in a particular city and market area, and then we're left with a couple other spaces. So maybe in May, we talk about maybe something kind of timely. So May, if you think about it, is right before the summer. So maybe it is something about homes on the market before the summer and what that means. And you could actually repeat something like that, but do it closer to the fall. So maybe in October, it's homes, putting your home on the market as it gets close to the holidays. And you could do a lot of content about should you buy or sell around the holidays, what that looks like, October, November, December. So you can repeat another topic here, or if there's a new topic that you want to tackle, or you want to keep this maybe more holiday related, or if you're talking about the new year, or you can fill in. We have some folks who love talking about real estate tech. So maybe you talk about real estate tech that you are using towards the end of the year into the new year. And then again, maybe December is something along the lines of, I don't know, I'm just making this up, freshening up your home for the new year. So the idea here is you're going to come up with, on this list here, I probably have, I don't know, 6 to 8, I'd have to count this up, different ideas here. Some are repeating, right? The ones you want to repeat are really your core niche audience. So if you really are targeting first-time homebuyers, I would recommend probably not just twice a year, but maybe even once a quarter. So maybe your list has, just 4 topics, and then you're repeating those every few months or so. Okay, so you've got your themes. And again, this is just like chicken scratched out, okay? So you've got your themes for each month. Now, the way that I think about this is the reason why you want to have a theme for each month is because you want to kind of back that out and go, okay, if you want to put out one piece of content every week, maybe it's a short form 30 or 60-second reel every single week. That's about 4 or 5 videos a month. It's a lot easier to sit down once a month and record 4 or 5 videos in one batch, as I'm doing right now. I've been doing this for years where I set aside, I don't know, an hour or two. I'm going to be totally transparent here. Like, my husband took my kids out. We're still on holiday break. You're probably seeing this in the middle of January, but you got to do what you got to do. So you set aside an hour or two once a month, which I always have on the calendar. Super important that you do that. And when you're sitting down to record those 4 or 5 videos, it's a lot easier if you have a theme. So if we go back to January, if your theme is first time homebuyers and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I want to publish one video a week, something helpful, something educational, then if you back that out and go, okay, that's going to be January, maybe you're watching this, depending on when you're watching this, maybe there's only a few weeks left of January. Okay, so you want to record a couple, get those in the can for January, and then maybe even look ahead and go, February, I'm focused on veterans, so let me set aside some time to record some content for that. Okay. So it's all about kind of taking a step back and getting yourself into a rhythm, getting yourself into a cadence. I really recommend publishing at least one video a week that's helpful, that's educational, that's your hot take, it's a frequently asked question, it's something people are saying, it's sharing something helpful. You're going to sprinkle in your behind the scenes and your listings and your open houses. But by posting something that's helpful, again, it could be a short reel, it could be something you cross post to TikTok, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube, whatever, LinkedIn. The leads from that are so much better. And also, if some of that content is evergreen, like some of these topics are pretty evergreen, which means, these videos that you publish in January, you most likely like download and then re-upload them in June. If you recorded 4 or 5 videos in January about first-time homebuyers, there's no reason why when June comes around, you couldn't download those, re-upload those and go, hey, we posted this in January and this is still relevant, but here's something that I want to add for this market. So it's a way to repurpose your content. Okay, one other quick step and then we'll get into finishing this up. Okay, so you've got your months and you've got your list of topics. The last thing that I think is really important is have some sort of planner. Now, I'm going to use my planner. You don't have to use ours. It's on Amazon. I'll put the link below. But we created this because, again, I love technology, but I just think there's something about pen and paper. And when I am creating my 12-month plan, for years, I have done this through pen and paper. So I'm going to flip through. This is actually an 18-month planner. It starts in July. So I'm going to flip to January. And I'm just going to kind of zoom in so you can see this. It's undated. What I would recommend is on the top of the January calendar, you write down your theme. So you write down whatever the theme is. You're going to have some ideas here at the bottom for additional content ideas, which is awesome. And then what you're going to do for January is think about a couple things. I would mark down when you're going to record, when you're going to publish. So for example, if you're planning on posting one new video a week, what day is that? For us, we typically publish on Wednesdays. But that's just because it works out for us. It's something that has been something that's worked really well for our schedule. I don't think there's a perfect day. Pick a day. Maybe it's every Tuesday. You want to post kind of a tip of the week. I would write that down. If you're doing Tip Tuesday, I would open this up and write Tip Tuesday every single Tuesday. And then you want to back that out and go, when am I going to record it? When am I going to edit it? When am I going to post or get it scheduled? Like one of the things we advise inside of our academy is something called Focus 5, where you take 5 minutes a couple days a week to scroll through your feed, like, comment, engage, be a noticer, don't just be a drive-by liker, right? So use that as a way to write it out. And then if you do use a digital calendar like your phone, make sure that you put certain things on your phone calendar or your Outlook or your Google Calendar, right? Like when are you going to record, when are you going to publish until it becomes a habit, right? So get yourself into a repeatable habit. And by the way, if you do use this planner, the other cool thing that we have in here are these like sort of weekly checklists. So you can put some goals. If you have listings, you can kind of make some notes here also. And then lastly, at the end of the month, you can put your end of month wins. And I started doing this maybe a year or two ago because I don't know about you, but it's so easy to like just get caught up on like what's next. So what I like to do is at the end of every month, I like to just think about what did I do? What did I do in the last month with social media, but also just in general. I'll go through my camera roll, and it's a nice way to just kind of celebrate my wins. I also like to do a little end of month recap. I'll use CapCut template. You've probably seen these like photo dumps, end of the month, something like that. So that is kind of how I think about it. I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think. We are doing some different things over here on our YouTube channel. If you've been following my YouTube for a while, we are changing it up. I'm trying to practice what I preach. Well, I think we get bored doing the same old, same old. So we're trying some new stuff out and trying different angles. I've got different phones, different tripods, different lights, and we're doing a lot more hands-on stuff this year than I think we've ever done. Let me know what you think. Like and comment below. If you would like any other follow-ups or clarification to anything I talked about, please put it in the comments below. We are doing a ton of training this month inside of our academy, all on strategy, all on planning. So if that is of interest and you want to be part of an awesome community, you like my style, we do weekly coffee with Katie's every week. We do master classes. And let me just say with the academy, it's not just like one more thing that you have to do. We are excited to be a helpful resource, and our members pop in, pop out when they can. And we just love being that trusted resource. So go to katielance.com/academy, get signed up if you're not a member. And if you are, we're loving you. We love you anyways. We love you all the way. All right. Have a great day, my friends. We'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the flip side. Okay. Bye for now.